We will see the Philadelphia offense here first. And on what could be one of the best weather days you're going to find around the NFL here in week 4. We get ready to play on a beautiful day in Denver. They are packed in here to watch the Broncos. This city is so alive and so excited about what they have here with Peyton Manning, with their offense, with a very underrated defense. Philly won week 1, that lost their last 2. Glad you're with us, and there will be no return as Prater drills it through the back of the end zone. Take a look at Michael Vick. We had a chance to visit with him yesterday, and I loved his reaction, Troy, when you talked to him about just the physical toll at 33 it's taken on his body to run this Chip Kelly offense. And he was tested this year physically to be in the best shape of his life.
Yeah, he worked hard this offseason. Once Chip Kelly got named the head coach, he knew what the physical demands would be, as you said, at his age. And he hasn't been in this kind of condition in quite some time.
Starting at the 20, a high snap and a handoff to the top back in the NFL. LaShawn McCoy picks up 3. And we will look at some of the faces, some of the names to pay attention to during the course of today's game. Maybe the third name on the list, Riley Cooper. Do the Eagles have another threat other than Deshaun Jackson? Cooper hasn't been that. Zach Ertz might get more action today, the rookie tight end. On second down, pass is out of the reach of Jackson. 3rd and 7. Troy, this is an underrated Denver Broncos defense with all of the attention on Peyton Manning and the weapons. Here's some guys to look at today.
Yeah, it really is a good group, Joe, and a unit that was exceptional last year. They're overshadowed clearly by Peyton Manning, that offense, but even though they haven't been great through the first 3 weeks, they are only going to get better.
I saw Chris Harris playing in place of the injured Champ Bailey. Hasn't played yet this season. Vick steps up, wants to run, and now gets shoved out. Forced out of bounds on the play by Sean Phillips. And it's 3 and out for the Eagles offense.
You see the end of that play, Michael Vick, he is trying to get what he can out of the play, but the Broncos play good defense. You see right here in the middle of the screen, they're going to shadow on Michael Vick at times on 3rd down when they are playing man coverage to keep him from picking up the first down.
That is only the second 3 and out all season long for the Eagles offense. And now from inside the 30, Trenton Holiday goes nowhere. Really well covered downfield. Tackle made by Rock Carmichael. And here he is as a former quarterback in this league. I know you, maybe more than anybody in any booth, can appreciate just what this guy's doing at the age of 37.
That's remarkable. You know, you look at his numbers and they would suggest that he's off to the best start of his career, which is really saying something considering how good he has been throughout his career. But not only has he not thrown an interception yet this season, but he really hasn't even come close. He's made good decisions with the football.
All the conversation at the line of scrimmage, first throw of the day. Manning had to wait, and he's got his man wide open. Welker. Catch number 20 on the year for the new Bronco, good for 33.
Now Wes Welker's going to come from the left side of the screen. He's on a deep crossing route, and because of the protection in the pocket, he's able to get clear across the formation, and then Peyton finds him in the window there along the sideline.
On first down now, the carry for Moreno, and Moreno gets a yard. You look at this Denver offense. For Manning, that was his 16th completion of 20 or more yards, and the reason being he's got these weapons, and you can say 2 more than a year ago when they were 13-3 in the #1 seed. Pass is broken up, and a good play is made defensively by Bradley Fletcher, a first-year Eagle. Pass intended for the tight end, one of those new weapons, Julius Thomas.
Now this is going to be really key for Philadelphia. I mentioned it looked like he might have got a grab at the top of that route. Fletcher might have gotten away with one there. But in addition to tackling well, you can talk about trying to disguise, bring pressure on Peyton Manning. The important thing is whatever coverage you're in, you've got to cover well. And Fletcher was all over him.
It's Demaryius Thomas in the route. And so now 3rd down and 9. Manning steps up. There's Thomas. The catch and the first down. Julius Thomas still really raw as a tight end, but what a big, long striding, faster than you think weapon for Manning.
Yeah, he really is, because you don't, when you watch him, you don't think he's really moving that quickly, but because he is so tall and such a long strider, he chews up a lot of ground. A good combination route there is what freed Thomas up on the underneath crossing route.
Manning incomplete. Pass intended for Andre Caldwell, who has 2 catches so far this season with Fletcher on him. And now the Philly defense, which is going through that transition from that wide 9-4-3 technique to a 3-4 defense, and Earl Wolf gets the start in place of the injured Patrick Chung at free safety.
Peyton hasn't gone after the rookie there yet. I expect that early in this game.
Here is a carry that takes the ball to the 20. A gain of 6 for Moreno.
You mentioned Earl Wolf, the rookie who's getting the start at the safety position, and he knows full well. And in talking with him during the week, he's well aware that Peyton Manning, the best in the game, is going to come after him early in this ball game.
3rd down and 4.
Hey, keep going. Hurry.
Philly came across first, then the movement from the Denver side. This could be a first down by penalty. Peyton thinks it is, and it is.
Defense. Coach, number 91.
They get Fletcher Cox for coming across too soon. And I mean, there's so much, Troy, going on at the line of scrimmage. Every broadcast team talks about it. Every defense has to live with it. Offensive linemen have to hang in there. But he's just a master at that hard count, combined with everything else he's doing in setting a play up at the line.
Yeah, and it's impressive to me, Joe, that the offensive line, that they hang in as well. Not a lot of false start penalties for this Broncos offense.
Handoff on first down to Moreno. He gets 2. This is the top 3rd down offense in converting to first downs. The Denver Broncos, they've done it twice now on this first possession at 2nd and 8.
Well, for the Eagles defensively, I mean, if this is a game that they're going to win, they have to win 3rd downs.
Manning throws over the middle's got a completion. Pass is caught by Welker, a gain of 7. And it'll be a 3rd and short coming up, 3rd and 1. There's the first possession for the Broncos so far. 8 plays, 3.5 minutes.
Who's Mike?
Come on. Move, 20. Move.
On 3rd down, touchdown, Denver. Wes Welker.
Well, the Eagles try to bring slot blitz off the edge, but the guy who has to cover the flat then, as you're going to see him come off the edge, is the safety, and he's by alignment. He's out of position when Welker runs the flat route. That's the guy who has to get over there to try to cover him. He's got him if he breaks inside, but they misread that, and with Welker going then to the pylon in the flat, no contest.
Wes Welker's got 3 catches on the first possession. And coming in into this game, Wes Welker, a guy that since he went to New England has 79 more receptions than any other receiver in the league. New weapon, another touchdown.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Just a young, fun city. Denver, Colorado, a 9-play drive covering 74 yards. 3 third-down conversions, including on 3rd and 1, the touchdown to Welker. And it's almost unfair to hand Peyton Manning another weapon or two. This team was a 13-win team a year ago, lost in heartbreaking fashion in the playoffs in the divisional round to Baltimore. We're going to get a return from Damaris Johnson. And he can't make the 20, got hit hard. Steven Johnson made the play downfield. Those two fast friends. They've got a touchdown and they've got something to talk about.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Top 2 offenses in the NFL going at it in terms of yards per game, yards per play. Philly started with 3 games in 11 days. Now they're off 9 days of rest, preparing for this. Vic steps up. He's got a lot of room in front of him. And he is out across the 25 to the 26, a gain of 8. Let's go to Kurt with a game break.
You were watching. Overtime between Houston and Seattle is now over. Stephen Hauschka, 45-yard game winner for the Seahawks. They were down 23 at halftime. They win it in OT, 23-20. Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, Kurt. So the Seahawks stay unbeaten as the handoff is to McCoy. He gets 1. And it'll be 3rd down and a yard coming up.
Well, what we've seen from Denver is they're playing a lot of defense like Kansas City did last week. A lot of man coverage.
McCoy will hit a wall of players, but they're going to give him enough forward progress for the 1st down. First guy there was Knighton, who Jack Del Rio had in Jacksonville. Jack Del Rio, the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. His name popped up. Former USC Trojan as a potential to fill that vacancy after Lane Kiffin was let go last night. 1st down, Philly. Good protection. Nowhere to go with it. Vic gets the edge. And Michael Vick's going to hop out of bounds with another Philadelphia 1st down. Vic may be 33, but he came in tied for 14th in the NFL with just under 200 rushing yards. That one good for 12.
Well, that's going to be the challenge for this Denver defense, as it was on Monday night. They faced the second-rate run offense of the Oakland Raiders, completely shut down Darren McFadden. But this LaShawn McCoy is something special.
They fake it to McCoy, and now the tight end Selleck makes the catch, and he's down near the 35. And a nice answer from the Philadelphia Eagles after the touchdown from Manning, a completion of 24.
Yeah, well, Brent Selleck, he's able to work the middle of the field, and Michael Vick patiently waits for him to get to the second window. He finds him, gets the ball into his hands, and a lot of discussion about, okay, who's going to get open opposite of Deshaun Jackson. Those tight ends, to me, they have to be the guys.
There's the rookie Ertz in motion. This is Bryce Brown. And a nice play from the secondary. First guy there, Raheem Moore. The free safety came up and no gain on the handoff to Brown as McCoy goes over to catch his breath.
Well, this run defense, as I said, I mean, they were 3rd in the National Football League last year. This year they ranked number 1. They've got big bodies inside. They are hard to run the football against.
Vick finds his man. That's good for another 1st down. The catch is made by James Casey, a free agent from Houston. That's his 1st catch, and they gave him decent money to come to the Eagles. He's been a non-factor. He makes a catch for 12 yards here.
With all the attention to Deshaun Jackson, and then with the run game off of the play action, the middle of the field should be a good area.
Here's McCoy. And McCoy over the left side will take it down inside the 20, a gain of 5, errors on the tackle.
I've been watching this offensive line now for the first 3 weeks of the season, and I really think they do a good job. I mean, it's evident in the way that they've been able to run the football with McCoy. but they're very well coached. The guy Jeff Stoutland is their offensive line coach, came over from Alabama, a 27-year collegiate coach, first time in the pros.
Vick paints it around, is going to dive through a tackle and pick up maybe half a yard. Eagles now inside the red zone coming into today, ranked 27th in the NFL, getting touchdowns just 43% of the time.
Well, clearly it's important for them not to have to settle for field goals. When your defense allowed Peyton Manning to go right down the field on the opening possession and come away with 7, 3 points in these situations is not going to be good enough.
Some confusion at the line, and Vick is going to spend a timeout. Big third down for the Eagles, down 7. We come back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Captain Phillips, in theaters October 11th. By Nationwide Insurance, Nationwide is on your side. And by KFC, the official sponsor of Couchgating. KFC plus football equals Couchgating.
There was utter confusion for the Eagles at the line. Call a timeout, now 3rd and 4. Vick, pass is dropped by Selleck. Did not secure the catch. Was spinning to try to get into the end zone, and now it's 4th down.
Well, the Broncos were man-to-man on the outside. I thought that's where Vick would go with the football. Broncos actually had good coverage called as far as dropping a free safety down in that position, but Selleck's able to find the hole, just fails to complete the catch.
Here's Alex Henry for 35 yards. He's 5 of 7 on the year. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is good. First points of the day for the Eagles inside the red zone. Had to settle for 3. A drop by Selleck hurt. 7-3 Denver. 7-3 game after Denver scored the touchdown. Philadelphia went 11 plays. Impressive drive that stalled in the red zone. So with just over 6 to play opening quarter, Denver will get it back. And one of the real weapons returning kicks or punts in the NFL, Trindon Holiday. Waits for it off the right foot of Alex Henry. Pretty good hang time on that kick. Holiday takes it out, gets a lane. He can fly. He is gone. Touchdown Denver, no flags.
Two key blocks you're going to see on this play, Joe, and once he got the first one, you knew that he was gone. It's going to be a kick out right there, and you see the lane that he has, and this block here is what freed him the rest of the way. Outstanding job by the special teams. The only one left was the kicker. No contest.
Omar Bolden threw the first one. David Bruton threw the second one. And Trindon Holiday, who had a punt return and a kick return in that playoff loss in double overtime here at home to Baltimore last year. I mean, this guy can absolutely light up a field with his speed. Goes 105 yards for the touchdown. And as if this Denver attack needs another angle where they can come get you, they have it in their kick and punt return game with number 11.
Well, the Eagles wanted to keep Peyton Manning on the sideline, but that's not what they had in mind.
Not a good moment for the special teams and Dave Phipp, special teams coordinator for first-year head coach Chip Kelly. So there you go. Ties the longest kickoff return in Broncos history. Broncos history that dates back to 1960 when they were an AFL team. Two-time Super Bowl champs, 97-98 with John Elway at the controls. And Morris Johnson will try and answer.
Well, you talked about Trenton Holiday and how explosive he is, and we just watched that. And Damaris Johnson, he's one of those type guys as well.
So Prater will kick it away. He does not allow many returns. And he doesn't here. Leads the league in touchbacks, does Matt Prater. We are 5,280 feet above sea level. And for more on the altitude situation when you play football, here down to Pam.
Well, Joe, we will be keeping a watchful eye on the Philadelphia Eagles to see if there are any ill effects of this thin air. Talking to players, well, they say that there is not a mind over matter situation, that this thing is real. Talking to Eagles left guard Evan Mathis, who's not exactly a size 4, he said that if the pace of this offense proves to be unsustainable, that the Eagles might make some adjustments. Back to you.
Thank you, Pam. On first down, trying to run this up-tempo offense. McCoy can't make anything of it and lost half a yard. First guy there was Kevin Vickerson. What did John Fox tell us on Friday? I know you don't totally buy in, Troy. Just let me throw it out there, and then you can dispute it. He said it's the best home field advantage in the NFL, the altitude, and the first 15 minutes are the toughest to try and get through. Here's McCoy. A nice run on second down, third down coming up.
There's no doubt that they enjoy a tremendous home field advantage. And a big part of that is they've got unbelievable fans here in Denver. But I can tell you, having played here, the real reason why they had home field advantage, at least while I was coming, was because of number 7, John Elway. And they had great teams. And, you know, when they haven't been very good, then they haven't enjoyed the same kind of home field advantage. Sometimes I think the altitude's a little overrated.
Third down and 3. Vick going to try and slip out. And he's got the first down. Chased down by Woodyard, who is really making a name for himself at middle linebacker for the Broncos. But a nice conversion by number 7, a gain of 6.
You see Deshaun Jackson and Tony Carter this time draws the assignment, but they're locked up, man coverage. We've seen that already throughout this first quarter, and just not a lot of separation. We've seen Vick work the middle of the field to the tight ends. Those are the guys that seem to be winning the most.
Vick has already carried it for 32 yards. Here's Bryce Brown, right side. And he is spun in the air with a 9-yard gain by Iheanacho.
I know in visiting with Chip Kelly yesterday, he talked about Bryce Brown and said, you know, we would like to get him the ball a little bit more. Not, you know, LaShawn McCoy, look, you'd like the ball in his hands as much as possible. But the reason Bryce only had 15 carries coming into this game was not a reflection on what the coaches think of him or how much they'd like to get him in the game. And he's been in a fair amount already.
They fake it to him. On second down, Vick is going to take off again. And that's about the third time Vick has elected to go head first or body first instead of legs first. Iheanacho on the stop. And Vick has rushed it for 40 yards.
But you see the hold there by Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. That is going to be the matchup most of the time on Deshaun Jackson. Those two guys know each other very well. They're very close friends. They played together the last 2 years in Philadelphia. But so far, nobody's gotten open for Michael Vick.
Here's Brown left side. He slips. But a nice gain on first down of 7. Let's go to Kurt with a game break.
And the Chargers jump up on the Cowboys early. Phillip Rivers, nice pass to Danny Woodhead. 26 yards on the score, just like that. 7-0. Chargers on top. Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Danny Trevathan is down after being in on that stop of Bryce Brown, who got 7. With exactly 3 minutes left in this opening quarter, and Trevathan rolled over the body of Bryce Brown, then couldn't get up. Now he can, and he limps to the sideline. Well, this is a defense, Troy, that should get better. They don't have Champ Bailey. He's 35 years old, but he's still a weapon out on the edge at corner. And they obviously don't have Von Miller, who's suspended for the first 6 games. Guy who had 18.5 sacks last year.
I think There's Champ Bailey there, as you said, who's yet to play. And Jack Del Rio, defensive coordinator, took over last year, did a great job. And considering what you just said, I think he's done a great job here in the early going of 2013.
McCoy on the right side, and he's wrapped up with a loss. A loss of 2 by Nate Irving, who is really the guy who's playing because Von Miller is suspended. Good play, 3rd and 5.
Well, really good play, and that's not easy to do. I mean, so many times we see LeSean McCoy in this same situation, and he's very difficult to get to the ground. But Nate Irving, he steps up and does a good job.
On 3rd down, Vick. Pass caught by Jackson. What a good throw and a good catch. And a conversion on 3rd down with a 15-yard gain. And Jackson, who is by far the Eagles' biggest weapon on the outside, is in some pain. So with 2 minutes left in the opening quarter, good throw by Michael Vick in a perfect spot. 1st down for the Eagles when we come back. DeSean Jackson able to pop up, get over to the sideline, looks okay. They're without Jeremy Maclin, who went down early in camp, led the team last year in catches, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns. They miss him. They cannot do without DeSean Jackson. 1st down, Philadelphia. Handoff to McCoy. Ducks in behind his blockers and takes it to the 25, a gain of 6.
That was the best run so far for LeSean McCoy, and you see DeSean Jackson, as you said, coming in now into the ball game, and it'd be a huge blow to this offense if he were unable to play, just because of the lack of weapons on the outside, and because the Broncos are playing so much man. I would expect to see the tight ends more involved, and even LeSean McCoy in the passing game.
We've seen that guy in motion. Selleck open quite a bit. What a good cut by LeSean McCoy. He's going to be wrapped up about a 1.5 yard shy of a 1st down. He got 3. It was the 10th play of the drive. This was a Denver defense coming in, and the score has a lot to do with this, but they averaged allowing 43 yards on the ground per game. Been a good start for the Eagles, and that continues. LeSean McCoy with a 1st down inside the 15. And the Eagles not scared at all to run the football against this top-ranked run defense. A gain of 10 there for McCoy.
Jason Peters, who had a tough night against Kansas City, playing with fractured fingers, does a good job on that play with a kick out, giving LeSean McCoy a lane to run the football.
There were 2 footballs on the field at the same time. I know Chip Kelly likes to play fast, but that's ridiculous. So they stopped it, and now we're ready. The clock winding. 1st down. Vick out to his right. End zone broken up. As intended for DeSean Jackson, with Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie the one knocking it away.
Pretty tough when you get down to this part of the field, because the speed of DeSean Jackson doesn't threaten then Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, because he knows he's got the end line, so he's able to sit on the underneath or play underneath coverage on that and not allow DeSean Jackson to get any separation.
High snap. Bryce Brown takes it, and a penalty flag comes in. Looks like it may be a hold. A gain of 3 by Brown.
Holding, number 65 offense. 10-yard penalty remaining, 2nd down.
That's the rookie Lane Johnson.
Yeah, Lane Johnson, he struggled a little bit last week as well. You can see him right here at right tackle, and he's just a young player at that position. You see the hold, and they get the call, but Lane Johnson, a guy who went to Kilgore College as a quarterback and has only played tackle for 2 years. He's still young.
Now 2nd and 20, trying to set up a screen. They get it to Brown, and Brown gets to the sideline, picks up a handful of yards. Trevay then on the stop, a gain of 6. 3rd down when we come back for the Eagles, who trail 14-3 after 1 here in Denver. Troy, LeSean McCoy would like to talk to you about the altitude not being a big deal out here in Denver.
Well, part of it is he has been on offense running the football. They had the ball for over 10 minutes.
That's right.
In the 1st quarter.
Okay, fine. Whatever. 3rd down and 14. Vick protected, has a man Cooper, but he's short of a first down.
And so now we've seen the Eagles on both possessions offensively. I mean, they've done a good job moving the football and getting down in a position to come away with a touchdown. They've just kind of bogged down once they've gotten to that part of the field, and now for the second consecutive time having to settle for 3 points.
Chip shot for Henry, 25 yards. Hit from 35 on the other end earlier in the game. This to make it an 8-point game. And he's done it. Eagles had the ball for just under 11 minutes of that opening quarter. Big reason why the Trendon Holiday kickoff return for a touchdown. So that offense gets a break over on the sideline. We look at some of the early game headliners and leaders. Alex Smith, the Chiefs are still undefeated. They beat the Giants, who are still winless. Adrian Peterson, a big day in London, and Reggie Bush for the Lions, who beat the Bears by 8, and those two teams are tied to the top of the division. So Reggie Bush, I mean, he took a week off, had the bad knee, something you talked about coming in to week 1. The factor that he brings to the Lions really makes them tough to defend.
Well, he creates things like LaShawn McCoy does, or great tight ends do, and he's a matchup problem. He's a good runner, but then in the passing game, he's able to do a lot of stuff. That was a big win for Detroit today, even though they were playing at home, but playing against the Bears, who came in with a great deal of confidence. It was important for them in this early going of that divisional race to win, and they were able to do that. And then if you're a Chiefs fan, you got to be pretty excited. It's pretty much guaranteed if you start the year off 4-0, you're going to be in postseason play. So
you heard it.
An awfully good start for Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs.
And he is 3-0 against the NFC East, where he toiled for all those years with the Eagles. Fox tonight, it's the return of Animation Domination. It's 2 epic hours. It'll give you a workout. Don't miss the season premiere of your Animation Domination favorites. It starts with Kristen Wiig. Guest stars with The Simpsons tonight on Fox. And so now Peyton Manning back to work. He's got 13 touchdowns, no interceptions to start his season. Leading the league in quarterback rating. Stronger than he was a year ago. Fakes it to Moreno, and is going to air it out. He's got a man, and off the hands of Eric Decker.
What do they do? The Denver Broncos offensively have been sitting over there on the sidelines for quite some time. They run the double move on the outside to Eric Decker, and they had it open. It was perfect execution by him. Kerry Williams jumps the route, and just a little bit overthrown then by Peyton Manning. You don't see him miss those kind of opportunities very often.
Second down and 10. Manning looking left the whole time. He has Caldwell wrapped up immediately. Gain of 4. Let's go for another game break. Here's Kurt.
Raiders and Redskins, Matt Flynn getting the start because of Terrell Pryor's concussion, hooking up with Michael Rivera, 18-yard score. You know what? Michael Rivera, not even the most famous one in his household. His sister plays Santana Lopez on Glee. But Joe, Troy, and Pam, I didn't have to tell you guys that, right?
No. 3 Gleeks.
You had to tell me. You didn't have to tell Joe.
Down at 6. 3 third down conversions. First time Denver had it. Receiver slipped. That was Welker. So Welker hit the dirt, and Manning has the incompletion, and it's 3-0.
Hey, and that's what has to happen. I mean, the Broncos miss out on an opportunity for a touchdown on first down with Decker up the sideline, and then when you get them to third down, something, either an errant throw or Wes Welker falls down and you get off the field. So it ended up being a good possession defensively for the Eagles, even though they really didn't do much themselves.
Good punt by Britton Colquitt. Beauty. Back at the 15 is Johnson, and Damaris, little room to run. And he shows what he can do with a little space. He's out across the 35, a return of 21 yards. That's his long of the season. Eagles have it, down 8.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy S4. The next big thing is here by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. And by Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time.
Second quarter in this track meet. This frenetic pace here at altitude. First down for Philadelphia. The ball at their own 36. Good starting field position for Michael Vick. Brown gets it running left, and Bryce Brown tackled around the neck with a gain of 5 by Trevathan.
You know, they've been handing the ball off. We haven't seen Michael Vick, keep it. He's not, a lot of times with that action, it's just assumed that he's reading it, but that's not always the case. A lot of times what Michael Vick does with the football is predetermined and already called, but they haven't honored him all that well. I would expect to see him keep it here pretty soon.
2nd and 5. They fake it to Brown. Pass is on a rope to Deshaun Jackson. And the catch for a first down inside the 40, a 19-yard completion, and Vick shows off the fastball. Yeah, he does, and it's an excellent job of him with some real pocket presence. He had a little bit of pressure. He's able to just back up enough, buy a little bit more time, and then he just threw a perfect strike. We may be getting a challenge here from the Denver sideline.
Denver
Jackson went to the ground.
On the field that the pass is incomplete.
You can see right at the end the ball started to come out. So they'll look at it. We'll get the call when we come back. Rogers Cromartie thought incomplete. We'll find out what Pirelli thinks. Mike Pereira back in Los Angeles says incomplete. Let's see if he's right. Looked like it came out to her right at the end.
Yeah, through the catch initially, Joe, I thought that he had possession of it, but right at the very end, as you move through this frame, you can see the ball definitely rolls. And I think it was incomplete, too. It's just a matter of whether or not they feel there's enough there to overturn the ruling that was made on the field.
Play was a 2nd and 4 at the Philadelphia 42. It was a 19-yard completion. Will it stand? And with this amount of time under the hood, you have to believe they're trying to figure out where the ball comes back to. But we'll get the call right now from Pete Morelli.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It's a catch. Denver will be charged with time.
So they obviously, meaning Pete Morelli, didn't see enough to overturn it. And that would differ with the opinion here in the booth and back in LA. And it's a 19-yard completion to Deshaun Jackson to set up a first down at the Denver 38. Eagles really hanging in there. That's a call going their way. Hand off to Brown. They're telling us from the Eagles sideline that LaShawn McCoy just got the wind knocked out of him, and he'll return. But this has been Bryce Brown's drive. McCoy with his helmet on. Looks like he's ready to go, as Brown just lost 1.
Well, I've sure been impressed here through 3 games of LaShawn McCoy. I mean, he's been compared a lot to Barry Sanders, and I think those comparisons are fair. He does things that no one's done since Sanders.
Vick well protected again. The pass broken up. Avant, the intended target. And Rogers Cromartie was there defending the 3-year Eagle, who signed a 1-year deal to come here to Denver. It's 3rd down.
Well, I know they're really happy with him here in Denver, and he was very inconsistent in Philadelphia. They elected not to re-sign him, but he's been good, here in the early going for the Denver Broncos.
Eagles 4 for 7 on 3rd down. Blitz coming. That's Brown. Got a lot of room. Bryce Brown slips, stays up, and takes it down inside the 5. And without that slip, may have scooted into the end zone. He lost his footing. A 35-yard catch and run on 3rd and 11.
Well, the Broncos, they bring pressure off this side, and you're going to see with the crossing route to the receiver to the play side. No defender was there. If Bryce Brown doesn't stumble, he scores easily.
Vic keeps it out to his left, and he will just throw it out of bounds. Bryce Brown came into this game with 1 catch for 1 yard. That was 35 yards on 3rd and 11, and he just lost his footing on a cut right here, and it looks like, at least to us, like that cost him a touchdown.
No question. I mean, he made the cut. The only one there to make the play was Woodyard. He was not going to be able to. There was nobody left, and I mean, it's a walk-in.
Now Polk is in the backfield. He carries it, and Polk is in for the touchdown. So whether it's the wind being knocked out of LaShawn McCoy or something more serious, he's on the sideline. And Bryce Brown and now Chris Polk gets his first carry of the season, and it's a 4-yard touchdown.
About that, just good movement up front along that offensive line. You can see Chris Polk, he's able to get it across the goal line, and it's an excellent job. Once Bryce Brown stumbled and they were unable to score the touchdown, still being able to come away with 6 points on the drive.
You have to wonder if there's something more serious going on with McCoy on the sideline. That's the first career touchdown for the second-year pro Chris Polk, a free agent out of Washington. Nobody's looking at McCoy, but when you get down to Polk and McCoy is standing on the sideline, there's something wrong.
Well, yeah, and I wonder if they were worried about Bryce Brown and ball security. I mean, he fumbled the ball last year. He fumbled it 4 times, lost 3 of those. And did that come into play or not? I don't know. I would tend to agree with you, Joe. LaShawn McCoy not in on that drive, and then you hand the ball to a guy who hadn't had a carry all season.
Well, they're reviewing the touchdown, as they do with all scoring plays, and they are going to give it a serious look. Let us take another look. Is it the first career touchdown for Chris Polk? We'll get the call when we come back.
This game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Check out the all-new Chevy Silverado at the Silverado versus All event.
Beautiful sight here in Denver. Well, we're 0 for 1, so we'll just shut up. But it certainly doesn't look like there's anything to overturn the call on the field, which was touchdown.
No, I'm really surprised that it's taken them this long to look this over. It's pretty inconclusive as far as I'm concerned.
So we'll try to get some word from the sideline. We've got Pam on it as to whether there's anything more serious than wind knocked out of LaShawn McCoy. They're saying that's still the case as he climbs onto the bike to try and get loose. Here comes Morelli and the call on the touchdown.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And so now, down by 2, Chip Kelly, first-year head coach, has already proven, Troy, that he's not scared to do things against the grain. You know, he went for 2 last week in kind of a surprise play against Kansas City, but he's lining up for the extra point here.
Yeah, I agree with this. I think sometimes you go for 2 a little bit too early, but considering what he did, you know, last week, I am a little surprised he's not going for 2 here.
So a 1-point game here in Denver. And it was a 35-yard catch and run by Bryce Brown on 3rd and 11. That set it up.
Well, it set it up because Perry Riley, he runs the crossing route, which in man coverage then freed it up. And they got the guy who was responsible for Brown, and just really a great call at the right time to set up that touchdown.
I think you said Perry Riley. Riley Cooper, I'm sorry. Riley. Coming off that moment and now into our booth. And, you know, you had to be impressed. I know you were after 1 week with Philadelphia with their win over Washington. They've had, you know, they could have won the San Diego game. Last week they had all those mistakes. They come in here to Denver. They've held their own. And here they are in a 1-point game in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think that, you know, when you come into this game and you look at the Eagles and what they've been able to do, you had to believe that they were going to be able to move the football, and they've done that. And the important thing on that last possession was coming away with the touchdown and not having to settle for 3 points again. And, you know, more importantly, I guess, is on that second possession offensively for the Broncos. Like I said, no real doing by the Eagles, but yet they got off the field.
Out of the back of the end zone. And Denver will start at the 20, up by 1. Fox Tuesday is all new with a night of comedy that can't be beat. Don't miss Dads, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, New Girl, and The Mindy Project. It's all new starting at 8 Eastern, 7 Central this Tuesday on Fox. And there is no football or baseball fan like Zooey Deschanel. Star of New Girl, huge sports fan.
Move 20!
And I'm sure watching today. A first down from the 20. Manning hands off. This is Moreno. And no shot out to the 23. D'Amico Ryans on the tackle.
Now, one thing the Broncos do have is they've got a trio of running backs that they feel really good about. Noshawn Marino is probably the most dependable of the group. He's got, the most experience. But they will use all three regardless of situation.
2nd and 7. Moreno is going to pick up a first down and 20 more after the 39. And before he can even get up, he signals to the sideline. Hillman comes in, and the Broncos go right back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, good blocking up front. They run that play out of the pistol, and we're seeing more and more teams run it, even teams like Denver with a quarterback that's a classic drop-back passer as Peyton Manning.
16-yard carry for Moreno. They stay on the ground. Hillman right side. Not much. Kendricks in on the tackle. Last year, it was week 5 that Denver played in New England. Bill Belichick had consulted Chip Kelly before last year about that hurry-up approach. And the New England Patriots used it against the Broncos in an impressive win. It caught the eye of Peyton Manning. And since that week, he's really tried to help this offense get to that up-tempo style. They get right back to the line. The pass is caught. And out on the edge, it's Thomas. And Demarius has got a Denver first down. A gain of 14.
Well, that's just Peyton Manning recognizing that he had one-on-one outside. The corner was off. It was a running play that was called in the huddle, but he just pops up, gets it in Demarius Thomas's hands. But that's what we talked about coming in. The Eagles are going to give up completions. You just have to make the tackle as soon as the ball is caught.
Yeah, come on. 120.
Manning looking right, slings it, pass is caught. That's Decker. Good for 9.5. And the Broncos get right back up to the line of scrimmage in that win by New England. Troy, they ran 89 plays. I think it says a lot about Chip Kelly that a guy with the stature of Bill Belichick is knocking on Kelly's door to try to learn what they do with a faster-paced offense. Now it's here in Denver, 2nd and 1. Handoff is to Moreno. He's got a first down near the 25.
You see Noshawn Marino, he wants to get the ball right to the official and get the ball spotted. And to Joe, to your point, there was a time where colleges were impacted by what was happening in the NFL. In today's game, the NFL is really being influenced by what is going on in college. Even before Chip Kelly got to the NFL, people were saying, hey, do you think this will work? Well, in a lot of ways, he had already influenced the NFL, as you said, because so many teams want to pick the tempo up. It seems we hear that each and every week, regardless of the offense that we're talking to.
Play action, Manning in trouble. He's got his man, that's Hillman. And out on the edge, Ronnie Hillman on first down picks up 8. D'Amico Ryans on the tackle. And one of the rare times that Peyton Manning has been under duress.
Well, off of play action, he's trying to hit Julius Thomas then in the seam, but defense very well by Philadelphia. And then they're able to get the pressure on Peyton inside with Michael Kendricks.
Hillman in the backfield on 2nd and 2. Little delay, and Hillman is to the 15-yard line. Depends on what forward progress they give him. Kendricks on that stop. You can see he was right on the line to gain, and that's going to be enough for a first down for Denver, up by 1.
We saw LaShawn McCoy on the sidelines getting oxygen. You can bet that this defensive front for the Philadelphia Eagles right now is really gassed.
Manning. Pass is caught. And on first down, a gain of 5 is Virgil Green as his second catch of the season. The 10th play of this drive coming up, and the Broncos have not huddled yet. Manning has hit 7 different receivers here in this first half.
Hurry, hurry! Mike is Mike! Mike is Mike! Omaha! There we go.
Fletcher Cox again.
Really good job there by Peyton Manning. Normally when you hear Omaha, Omaha, then the next sound is when the ball is being snapped. He used it as a hard count.
Defense. Number 91, encroachment. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So Peyton Manning comes up, says Omaha, Omaha, and then he gives the count. And Cox thinks, okay, well, I've heard Omaha, Omaha. I know what that means. And Peyton Manning, I mean, as much as goes on at the line of scrimmage in the games, even watching practice, I mean, they work these things all the time. And that's why I say his offensive line is very disciplined to hang in there.
Hand off to Moreno, and he was swallowed up after a gain of 1. Second and goal from the 4. Talking to Wes Welker, he said during practice, Peyton Manning keeps everybody so honest that he'll just openly question receivers, tight ends, offensive linemen, running backs. What are you supposed to do on this play? You sure? Is that right? And he's the leader of this offense, and right now playing the best of his career. Hand off Moreno. Touchdown.
Well, Peyton liked the numbers inside. He came up, he checked it, he went with the run. He got Moreno lined up behind him. He got then underneath center. And the offensive line comes off the ball and does the job. It's an excellent drive. You know, I mean, for as little as the Broncos have had the football, they've had it just 3 possessions. And they've now scored 2 touchdowns on those 3. They've just not been able to. Philadelphia really hasn't done anything. The one possession where they made the stop, they didn't connect on Decker. That would have been a touchdown. And then, as we talked about, Wes Welker slipped on 3rd down.
He stayed up for Noshawn Moreno, and he's in for a 4-yard touchdown, his 3rd touchdown run of the season. That's to make it an 8-point game again. Good one here in Denver. Over 5 to play. Opening half. Moreno takes it in. And how about Decker up and over? That defensive catch its breath. Philly down 8. Look at the highest scoring teams in the history of the NFL. 2011 Saints, 547. The Vikings in 98. 2012 Patriots, you'll see them again, 557. The Packers in 2011. And then the record holders, the Patriots in 2007. That great year for that undefeated regular season team, 589 points. But as you saw, all failed to win the Super Bowl. This is a Denver team that comes in averaging 42 points per game. They're on a pace, which is kind of ridiculous this early in the season to talk about, but on a pace for more than 600 points this season. They've got 2 offensive touchdowns, 1 special teams touchdown, and Prater shows off the strength of his leg. Eagles down 8. Will start at the 20. Good to see McCoy about to head back onto the field. Michael Vick has thrown it for 121. He's run it for 40. McCoy averaging 3.3 a carry. Did that math on my own. And Bryce Brown had that big play on 3rd and 11 that set up the touchdown, which for a moment made it a 1-point game. Now it's 8. Here comes Vick. pass to Cooper. And Riley Cooper on first down has got a pickup out to the 35, a gain of 15.
That time Riley Cooper was able to get separation along that sideline, and Michael Vick at the end of this play, it's a little bit of a shove, but Riley Cooper last week, he just had a hard time creating separation when he was matched up one-on-one, but that time a nice comeback right on the outside.
McCoy carries it out to the 38, a gain of 3.
You know, you talk about the Broncos and their high-flying offense and how no team, you know, has won the Super Bowl, you know, of those offenses that you showed. You know, that I think is what made last year so disappointing for this Broncos team, is it's rare to have it all. It's rare to have a great offense and a great defense, but last year the Broncos, at least in the AFC, you know, they were the most accomplished when it came to that.
Pass to McCoy, and he is all alone. LaShawn McCoy is making moves down inside the 45. And they forgot about number 25, who picks up 21 in an Eagles first down.
Well, it looks like they should have been locked up here. Well, they brought the blitz, but nobody then accounted for LaShawn McCoy. They were expecting LaShawn McCoy to have to stay in and block, but you've got to be able to account for everybody when you're in man coverage, and that time they just completely turned him loose, and that's why he was able to get that kind of yardage.
Vick, Jackson, penalty flag on the play. Deshaun Jackson down inside the 25. But a flag is down back where Vick let it go.
Holding. Number 69, offense. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
It's Evan Mathis, part of this very good athletic offensive line for the Eagles.
Evan Mathis, he's the left guard. Wow. Yeah, they're going to see that one. You see, he just dives back, and I mean that was that was more than a hold. It was a tackle
on Malik Jackson, who is coming and right in the grill of Michael Vick, and then Wesley Woodyard gets into the face of Deshaun Jackson. It's the 4th Eagle penalty of this opening half. Here's Brown. Midfield, that's it. A gain of 1.
I know the penalties have been, you know, really frustrating for Chip Kelly as well as the turnovers that they've had, you know, in these early ball games. And here they had a nice drive going and, you know, really had Denver defensively on their heels, but the hold by Evan Mathis has put them in a very difficult situation.
2nd and 19, Vick got out of trouble, and then Ertz can't make the catch. Great effort by Michael Vick. Did all he could with pressure on him. With the incompletion to Zach Ertz.
It kind of shows you the arm strength that Michael Vick still has. He had to throw that off his back foot because of the pressure right in his face, and, you know, an awfully good throw just a little bit away from Ertz there. And, you know, he's a guy who, in talking with Chip Kelly, expect to see him a little bit more in this ball game, and I like the young rookie from what I've seen of him.
Polk in the backfield with Vick on 3rd down. Polk gets it. He's got a long way to go. Trying to break a couple of tackles, could not get loose, and now with the ball inside the 40. And with 4th down coming up, we'll see if Chip Kelly wants to leave his offense out there and go for it, or attempt the long field goal.
Well, and a lot of people, I mean, it looks like they're going to go for it. I think this is the right decision, and Chip Kelly has talked about it. A lot of people think he really studies percentages and, you know, mathematical formulas and all that kind of stuff. He says, I mostly just go on feel and what I think in a particular situation as to what's best for the team. Right here, you know, your defense really hasn't done anything to stop Peyton Manning. Punting, yeah, maybe you back him up, but are you really going to be able to stop him? I know he's wrestling with this decision right now.
I have no idea what the Eagles just did.
4th down.
They let the play clock expire. You think they're going to call a timeout and either attempt a 55-yard field goal or go for it on 4th down, and instead they take the penalty. And I guess all along they wanted to punt. I'm surprised by that.
Well, I think they were either going to go for it or punt. I just don't think they were going to attempt a field goal, and when they decided to punt, you know, they didn't feel it was necessary then to burn a timeout.
You're giving the ball back to Manning. He'll start from the 20. A flag is down. Late flag comes in. You see the back judge will get run into as Boykin got shoved, and flag came in after that. But with this altitude, I mean, a 55-yard field goal.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 99, unnecessary roughness of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, the ball will be placed on the 10-yard line.
It's on Vickerson. The drive will start at the 10. Eagles punted. Manning has it, up 8. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Thanks to 2 Cleveland teens and former NFL linebacker and current Fox Sports 1 analyst Scott Fujita, many children with cancer are enjoying pro football games today, and the goal for the 13,500 children diagnosed with cancer annually is to see this initiative grow in future seasons. Visit foxsports.com/Fox Sports Supports for more information. Starting from the 10, 2:07 left. Handoff is to Ronnie Hillman, who started right, tries the left side, and to lose a couple of yards. First guy there was Trent Cole, made a nice play, loss of 2. 2-minute warning in Denver. Moments ago, Chip Kelly elected to punt, not try the 55-yard field goal or go for it on 4th down. So Manning has the ball, facing a 2nd and 12. Up by 8.
Go!
Steps up and has Decker, hits him in stride. What a throw from Peyton Manning to the 40, good for 52.
Well, Eric Decker's just a deep post. You're going to see in coverage Kerry Williams, and Decker gets a step, and Peyton just walks it out there and hands it to him. I mean, an absolutely perfect throw, and allows Decker to continue running away from Kerry Williams for the big game.
That's why, to me, I was surprised he didn't go for it. In 2 plays, the Broncos are inside Eagles territory. Either way, you're giving the ball back to Peyton Manning, and if he hasn't proven yet that where a drive starts on the field doesn't really matter. How about this for 52 to Eric Decker? As you said, handed it to him. Could not have been a better deep throw.
You see that ball was coming loose, too, at the end of that play, but the Philadelphia Eagles have given up far too many big plays in the passing game.
Julius Thomas made that catch on 1st down. Now Hillman over the right side. He's knocked out of bounds short of 1st down yardage by Jake Knott. 3rd and short coming up for the Broncos. Up by 8.
Coming into this game, Joe, Philadelphia had given up the 5th most pass plays of 20 yards or more, and when you give up those kinds of plays, then you're going to give up points, and that's been one of the downfalls of this defense through the first 4 weeks of the season.
Go!
3rd down and 3. Manning has his man, and that man's got a 1st down. Pass is caught by Thomas, and Demarius has got 8, and flag comes down at the end. Penalty flag thrown at the end of the play.
Joe, it looks like they're going to get Moreno at the end of this play.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 27, offense. Since the 1st down was made on the play, after the 15-yard penalty, it still will be 1st and 10.
Looks like a good call.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, clearly the play's over, and then Moreno comes in and knocks D'Amico Ryans into the pile, and so big penalty there against the Denver Broncos when they were marching.
Now minute 7 left in the half. O'Shawn Moreno checks out. 1st and 10. The penalty came after the 1st down. Dead ball foul. It just cost the Broncos field position. And now Manning is brought down. Trent Cole is on his back. He was there with Cedric Thornton. And a big sack for this Philly defense. And now the Eagles get a play defensively as Denver will call a timeout.
Well, Cedric Thornton, he just drives the center Manny Ramirez right back into the lap of Peyton Manning. And that's the inside pressure the no pocket passer wants. If you get it off the edge, you're okay, but when you can't step up into the pocket, he had open guys to get the ball to also.
Thornton had a lot of the face mask with Peyton Manning. They didn't see it. And for Cedric Thornton, a big play for this Philly defense. Denver's down to 1 timeout. A loss of 6 on the sack, and it's 2nd and 16.
Well, you'd say defensively this would have been huge if they had been able to keep Denver out of the end zone, but now there's a chance they're not even going to be able. They're not going to give up any points on this drive.
Under a minute to play. First half. 2nd and 16. Eagles showing the blitz.
They're locked up man across the board.
Back out of it. Pass caught by Thomas, and he's wrapped up immediately. Gary Williams and Nate Allen in on the stop, a gain of just 4, and so 3rd and long coming up.
A little surprised by that one. They showed blitz, man-to-man on the outside. I expected to see something down the field. Oh. Come on.
Roll Allen, box!
Clock is running.
Off the screen.
Line.
Go.
On 3rd down, Manning throws. And incomplete. Eric Decker, a little shove at the end of that route, came back, couldn't make the catch, and now it is.
Yeah,
down.
Yeah, the Broncos, they're normally able to take advantage of these types of things. Eric Decker, he's working one-on-one with Bradley Fletcher, and I think he was expecting it to be thrown more on the back shoulder, just a little bit of a miscommunication between those two, and it's a heck of a job, benefited by the penalty on Noshawn Moreno that backed him up, but to not give up any points here before the half, big for the Eagles.
Broncos pass on a 61-yard try, which out here is doable. Career long for Prater is 59. He's done it twice. Colquitt with 18 seconds left in the half. End over end kick. Ramirez Johnson secures it outside the 10. We find out what's coming up at halftime. Here's Kurt.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, we'll get you caught up on another great Sunday in the NFL. The undefeated Seahawks complete a Texas-sized comeback in Houston. The Chiefs stay unbeaten, too, with a win over the Giants. And the Vikings get their first win of the season over in London. It's all on the Visa Halftime.
Yes, it is. So they're about to get to work. We're about to take a break, as this will end the first half in an 8-point game. The Eagles have run 41 plays, 482 yards of offense between these two teams. Good half. Exciting second half coming up. Step aside. Kurt and the guys coming up right now on the Visa Halftime. Down Broncos leading 21-13. You and I ought to try that. You leap over me, or I'll try to leapfrog over you. This was really a fun first half. Both quarterbacks playing well. The Eagles 1 for 3 in the red zone, scoring touchdowns. But good work by their defense there at the end of that first half.
Yeah, it was a good stop then defensively, obviously then with the help of the penalty. The difference in the first half clearly being the return touchdown, by Denver. But Denver offensively, they have stopped themselves. I mean, it really hasn't been so much what Philadelphia has done. They've missed open, Peyton misses Decker that would have been a touchdown, and then of course the penalty that kept them from coming away with any points there right before the half. And now, Philadelphia has an opportunity defensively with Denver getting the ball to start this second half. They're going to have to make another key stop to keep this game one possession.
You can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Trendon Holiday already has one, a 105-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. He's got 6 in his young career between punt returns and kick returns and scores. We won't have a chance this time. We go down to the field, and Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, with the Eagles having gained more net yards than the Denver Broncos, I asked Chip Kelly how they maintained that in the second half. He said, we tired our shoes, didn't we? And smiled. He loves how the defense seemed not to be intimidated by Peyton Manning. As for John Fox, he said that he loved the way the group came out. He told them that we have got to leave it out boy, we have got to leave it all out on the field. You know what? I'm going to stop there. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Pam. Well, here we'll see what Peyton Manning can do starting this second half at the 20. More work for this Philly defense, and it's Moreno left side. Noshawn, who has been able to kind of vault himself back on top of that depth chart at running back. Guy who was inactive last year for 8 games is the top guy of the 3 they have. We haven't seen anything of Monte Ball yet. The second-round pick out of Wisconsin. As you look at the first half stats, and now a 2nd and 7. Getting rid of it quickly is Manning, and the pass caught by Julius Thomas, and the tight end has got 10 yards and a Denver first down.
Well, Julius Thomas, he lines up at the end of the line and just runs a flat route, but Peyton Manning recognizes that they've got him outflanked and picks up some pretty good yardage there on that play.
Blitz was coming from the Eagles. Now on first down, play action. Manning from the pocket, wide open on the far side of the field to Marius Thomas. And number 88 out of bounds with a completion of 15 yards from Peyton Manning.
Well, they run the inside guy on a go route, and you're going to see the corner as he comes in thinking that that's where Peyton Manning was going with the football. Kerry Williams starts working to the inside receiver to take that away and just leaves Thomas wide open on the sideline.
Tiger! No, Sparrow! Sparrow, 59! 59! Omaha!
On first down, the carry by Moreno. Right side, got to the edge and picks up about 10.
Right side of this offensive line does a great job. Watch these 2 guys right here. Right guard Vasquez and then Franklin, the right tackle, and the push that they get. I mean, it was a big gain before any Eagles even come into the picture to make a play on.
Pass is caught. That's Welker. And a guy who Troy has to go down as certainly one of the best slot receivers to come along in the past 20 years. Makes the catch and picks up 7.
He's amazing. You know, he started his career there with the Miami Dolphins, and you know, they just didn't want to pay him, didn't feel that he was worth that kind of money to be a number 2 receiver, or number 3 receiver. The Patriots found a way to get him into their organization, and of course the rest is history.
The run he had in New England as Hillman takes it left side, bounces it to the edge, gets a hit from Kendricks, and it depends on the spot as to whether it's enough for a first down. Well, nice, and they're going to give it to him.
Yeah, nice benefit, as we talked about a little bit earlier, and you did, Joe, as well, with the running backs that they have. And Moreno, who, you know, as you talked about, he's come along now. He's become so dependable, you know, here. But then Hillman is a guy who he's capable of going the distance every time he gets it. He's got unbelievable quickness and speed with the ball in his hand.
Here he is. And if there's one thing, Troy, that these Denver Broncos and certainly these fans backed into the stadium don't want to see is number 18, Peyton Manning, on the ground. And keeping him from that requires good blocking from the running back position, and Noshawn Moreno is probably the best blocker of that trio. 2nd and 5.
Apple. Go, Trophy. Omaha!
The Eagles come across early again. Could be the 3rd one. Unless they're going to get the Broncos for it. Manning says it's against Philly.
Defense, neutral zone infractions, number 79, 5-yard penalties, still 2nd down.
You got him on the Omaha again, Joe.
Between Peyton and Eli, how many times do you think the word Omaha has been said?
Well, you see Peyton, he moved Julius Thomas to the opposite side of the formation. It looked like they were going to try to run the football, but you know, just a lot of activity, as we've come to know, with Peyton Manning at quarterback.
3rd time and offside has given the Broncos a first down.
Yeah! Sorte! Hurry! Hey!
So on first down, pass caught by Welker. And And Wes Welker is down to the 11. He's got another Denver first down. Boykin on the stop. And Welker's been featured on this drive. He did not have a catch since the opening drive and the touchdown early in this ball game.
Yeah, they're basically playing him inside out. They had Boykin on him in man, but they also had D'Amico Ryans in there in the middle, and they're still able to get the ball into Welker's hands.
Hand off to Moreno. On first down, he gets 4.
You look at this, Joe, and all of the weapons that he has, and everybody talks about it every week. And because Peyton is so methodical in his decision making and knows where to go with the ball, that they become almost impossible to stop. They have to stop themselves, and that's what happened in the first half. But short of them missing a throw or a penalty that sets them back, they're just difficult to match up across the board with.
Low snap. Manning down to get it. And a juggling try by Decker, incomplete. The flag comes in. Fletcher on the coverage. The flag at the very end of the play, right in that spot.
Pass interference, number 24. Penalty occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball took place on the 1-yard line, automatic first down.
I was going to say, I didn't see much there, Joe, and I don't see it even in slow motion on the replay. And I don't know if it's because of where the throw was made. There's a little grabbing going on there. Decker was grabbing on Fletcher. Fletcher got a little bit of the right arm slightly, but I didn't see enough there to warrant pass interference on Bradley Fletcher.
I'm with you. I think Chip Kelly agrees too. Now first and goal from the 1. Thomas, one-handed catch for the touchdown.
They got a height advantage, and you've got some space then to the corner. He cuts his split, so Peyton just is throwing to that back pylon. They work this every day in practice where they can do it in their sleep. Peyton lays it out perfectly, and a good catch then by Demaryius Thomas. Not a whole lot Bradley Fletcher could do.
And it's Demaryius Thomas on the receiving end of career touchdown pass number 450 for Peyton Manning. He says, I don't know if my arm's stronger. It feels better, but I'm told by receivers and defensive backs it's coming out with a little more zip. This one all touch, and the touchdown to Thomas. 28-13 Denver.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost.
Some of the greats that have played for the Denver Broncos outside the stadium as they continue to honor their past here in Denver with an eye on their future and maybe their immediate future here in the 2013 season, as they at this point in the season seem to stand head and shoulders above the rest of the AFC. They're having fun in Denver. The guys in orange are 28-13 Broncos on top. Starting at the 20, down by 15, are the Eagles, and it's McCoy off the right edge out to the 30-yard line.
So now if you're Philadelphia offensively, I mean, a lot of pressure clearly when you recognize that your defense is having a tough time slowing down the Broncos offense. They're coming away with touchdowns, and you have to match that. And so every play then becomes critical. But it was a good start there on first down. A good job of blocking on the outside, especially by Deshaun Jackson as the outside receiver.
Mark McCoy out at the 29, and now he breaks loose out across the 40. And Deshaun McCoy, who split a lot of his carries with Bryce Brown and even Chris Polk in the first half, gets 15.
You know, LaShawn McCoy, for as much quickness as he has and speed, he's about as patient a runner as there is. And everyone talks about how good he is in space. A lot of times he creates his own space. And even when there's not much of a hole there, because of his patience, he's able to create one.
He is the perfect running back for Chip Kelly. Vick turns the play into a positive. Gets 3. Let's go to Kurt for the game break.
Phillip Rivers hooking up for the second time today with Danny Woodhead. Woodhead's first career 2 receiving touchdown game. This one 13 yards. Makes the 1-point contest. Third quarter. Cowboys up 21-20. Joe Troy Pan.
All right, so a good one going on out in Southern California. Here it's a 15-point game. Eagles down, but they have the ball. 2nd and 8. Blitz coming, and McCoy did not secure the catch. He had Nate Irving bearing down on him, but forgot to catch it before he was going to make a move on Irving. Now it's 3rd and 8.
Yeah, LaShawn McCoy, who's got good hands. He was 3rd on the team last year in receptions, but I think he was planning his move before he made the catch on that one.
Vick out to his left. Pass incomplete for Selleck. And he was well covered by Trevathan.
They're able to get pressure on Vick in the pocket. Man coverage once again. The ball's placed, really where it had to be. Couldn't tell if he got a hand on it. Looked like maybe he got a hand on it and kept Selleck from being able to make that catch. But a good stop then defensively by the Denver Broncos, and they've had a tough time for the most part in this game stopping the Eagles as well.
The dangerous Trendon Holiday waiting for the punt. Donnie Jones, and it will end up in the end zone. Take a break, come back. Broncos will have it at their own 20, up 15. 5 wins away from 300 in the now 30 years, in his 30th year as owner and CEO of the Denver Broncos. Pat Bowlen with his wife Annabelle. And the success on the field is well documented. The 2 Super Bowl championships, the Lombardi Trophy, 97, 98. But it's those who work in the organization for Mr. Bowlen. They call him Mr. B around here. It will tell you of his generosity when nobody's looking. For scouts in the organization, people that work in the front office, whatever it may be. It's been a great run, and it continues to be a great run here in Denver for Pat Bowlen. Here's Moreno, and Noshan's got a first down out to the 33.
It was good to see so many of the former Broncos here at halftime. Pat Bowlen was down on the field there, and they brought Tom Nalen into the Ring of Fame here in Denver. Stalwart there really with this team when John Elway was their quarterback, and well deserved. Some great teams, and now that they've got Peyton Manning, at least for the foreseeable future, they're going to be good for a while.
Here's Decker, got a block from Welker right after the catch. Decker gets 9. 8 different receivers Peyton Manning has hit. So all the stuff at the line of scrimmage, moving safeties with his eyes. He's got all these weapons. You don't know where he's going to get you. He's well protected. We've not said the name of Chris Clark, who's playing in place the 2nd straight week and will the rest of the year, as long as he's healthy, for Ryan Clady. Here's a first down carry for Moreno, and he's tripped up outside the 40. As the ball carries into Philadelphia territory, 17-yard run.
Yeah, the offensive line's just doing an excellent job, and that's why you get these types of runs. When Vasquez, the guard, he pulls out in front and blocking on the outside, and you get caught up so much in what Peyton Manning's doing and trying to cover all these various weapons, and yet they mix in the run very well, and they're effective doing it.
Here's the tight end, Thomas. Julius Thomas lowers his shoulder and takes it inside the 30. And he ran through Kerry Williams at the end of the play.
And Julius Thomas, we were talking about him a little bit earlier, just had 1 year of football prior to coming to the NFL. 1 reception in his first 2 seasons, dealt with some injuries, and he is a really raw player, and he's had a great start to this season, but I mean, he's got a lot of good years ahead of him, and he's only going to get better.
Arrow! Fan down! Arrow! Gotta push him. Hey, no, Yeah, go, go, go. Oh, how's that?
Here's Welker. Now he got a block from Decker. He's to the 20, a gain of 8.
You mentioned Peyton Manning a moment ago, and as far as how well he's protected, and he got sacked on the possession right before the end of the first half when Thornton got inside on him. But for the, he hasn't been on the ground much. I mean, the ball comes out of his hand. He recognizes the blitz. I mean, he's going to play a long time if he doesn't get hit more than he's gotten hit today.
Carried by Hillman. Hillman is spun to the ground with a first down, a gain of 5. D'Amico Ryans on the stop. And the guy he lost protects his blind side in Ryan Clady, a player who didn't miss a game in 5 years. Allowed only 1 sack all of last season. They've got Chris Clark filling in and doing a good job at left tackle as Manning just basically throws it away. Hit the leg of Ronnie Hillman.
Well, you watch this, Joe, and you just kind of get the feeling that Philadelphia just doesn't really know what to do, and whatever it is they try, it's not the answer because Peyton recognizes it. And, right now, with it being a 28-13 ball game, the Eagles need something big to happen here because this game's starting to get away from them.
Pass is caught. Demaryius Thomas has got one and another. Touchdown, Denver.
Chris Clark, watch the block that he puts on the rookie Earl Wolf when he gets out. That's a good job by him. And then the wide receiver down here at the bottom, that was Wes Welker. He kicks out, and just great execution offensively.
Demaryius Thomas, who blossomed last year with Peyton Manning at quarterback, really off to a great start. Now he's got 4 touchdowns, 2 today. Broncos now imposing their will, to the dismay of first-year head coach Chip Kelly. You start looking at the schedule for the Denver Broncos, a team that's on its way to a 4-0 start. And after their bye, they're at San Diego, at home against Kansas City, at New England, then at Kansas City the very next week. That's the roughest stretch that they'll have in their upcoming schedule. And I don't know who's going to slow them down the way they look. Peyton Manning, 15 touchdowns, no interceptions to start the year. Eagles have it, down 22. Ball control dominated by Denver. 22-point game. Michael Vick and the Eagles starting from their 20. Play action to McCoy, and now Vick will just get rid of it. I don't know that the sky is definitely falling for the Philadelphia Eagles, who are looking at a 1-3 start. As you look at what Vick was looking at, nowhere to go with a football. Troy, if they start 1-3, they've got a game at the Giants, at Tampa Bay, 2 winless clubs coming up. 8-8 might win the NFC East. It doesn't look good here lately in Denver, but this is a different animal facing the Broncos here at home. I don't know if anybody's going to beat him. Here's McCoy right side on 2nd and 10. Picks up a yard. Watch 60 minutes of live NFL games free now through October 1st. Call *635 to download now.
Well, here we've got 3rd and 9, and if they don't pick it up, you almost say, hey, why not go for it on 4th down no matter where you are? They've not been able to stop Peyton yet.
Four-man rush. Vick goes down. Phillips.
Now with Sean Phillips, I mean, there's the rookie Lane Johnson. He gets the edge. Nothing Michael Vick could do about that play. A good pickup by Sean Phillips this year, especially with the suspension of Von Miller, and then of course losing Elvis Dumervil in free agency.
Yeah, that's 29.5 sacks. It's not here for this defense at the moment from a year ago. Sean Phillips now has 3.5 on the year. Next week on Fox NFL Sunday, here are the matchups. Saints and Bears, a good one early. Seahawks and Colts, good as well. The Eagles will be in New York to take on the Giants. The Lions and Packers, another good matchup. Panthers and Cardinals later on. It all starts with the Fox NFL kickoff show at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1, followed by Fox NFL Sunday at noon right here on Fox.
So based on your reasoning that you explained a moment ago, are the Giants still in the hunt?
Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to run away with the NFC East. Maybe the only team that has a chance is Dallas. Here's Hillman, and he scoots out of bounds with a first down. Let's go to Kurt for the game break.
Well, the Washington Redskins have put up 17 straight points after being down 14-0 in Oakland. Pierre Garçon with the touchdown reception from RG3. And the Redskins have a 3-point lead. Joe, Troy, Pam.
So the Redskins, they have the lead. Dallas is about to blow a lead in San Diego. NFC's not looking good. Here in 2013, here's Demaryius Thomas. Knocked out at the 40, got 11. The NFC East at the start of the day looked like this. Dallas on top, 2-1, but they're in a battle and now trailing about to in San Diego. So I just still think the division with head-to-head matchups coming up is wide open.
There's no doubt. I mean, that division is down significantly. I don't think either one of those four teams, at least at this stage, are all that good. Certainly the Giants have not been. The Cowboys have been okay, but as you said, they're about to lose their lead.
Here's Hillman. Cedric Thornton on the tackle, a gain of 3.
You know, so much coming into this year, and you looked at the teams and you said, well, the NFC is much stronger than the AFC. Really, the only team getting much recognition out of the AFC was these Denver Broncos. But you know, based on the interconference play, especially when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, they've dominated their games in the NFC, and the AFC has had a good showing in the others.
Monte Ball in the game for the first time. Pass caught by Decker. Left alone, he's down inside the 25. And Eric Decker, who's a lot bigger than you might imagine, he is 6'3", 214, has 14 yards and another Bronco first down.
Well, right now it's whatever the Broncos want to do. I think they've just taken the fight out of the Eagles. I don't see anybody on the field right now that looks like they really want to be out there.
Manning is over 300 yards for the 76th time in his career. Here's Thomas down to the 9, maybe the 8. If they give him a little extra, Earl Wolf, the rookie, making his first start in on the stop, a gain of 14. And they marked him at the 9. Breathing heavy is that Eagles defense and chasing down the Broncos after every play.
Easy. Roll out! Holker!
Timeout. Broncos are 4 for 4 in the red zone, scoring touchdowns. And they're going to talk about this first down on the sideline. So we will welcome you inside our broadcast booth, and I'll ask you point blank. It's relevant for both teams. The former head coach of the Eagles and the division rival for the Denver Broncos, you believe in the Kansas City Chiefs here in 2013?
I do. I mean, we've seen it over and over and over in this league, and for them to get off to the start that they have now and be undefeated, I mean, in that locker room, from this point on, they're going to go into every game feeling as though they're going to win because they're playing with great confidence and their defense has been exceptional. They get after the quarterback. I think the great move by them was bringing in Alex Smith. So now they've got a proven leader and a guy who left San Francisco playing at a high level, and he's done the things that he does best. He's been consistent, and he hasn't made the mistakes that cost his football team.
First and goal from the 9. Hillman in the backfield gets in running right. cuts up down inside the 5 to the 4. Knocked down by Nate Allen. 5-yard carry. Under a minute to play, third quarter, 2nd and goal.
Well, this offensive line should feel good about the way that they played. And right guard Luis Vasquez has been really good, and he's been pulling and making some key blocks, and the interior guys have been exceptional. And this has been you don't do the things that they do and get the ball to these playmakers on the outside without some protection, and they've been awfully good.
Welker starts this play in the backfield. Takes off running right. Manning goes that way for the touchdown. And for the 24th time in the Hall of Fame career of Peyton Manning, he's got 4 or more touchdown passes in a game. That's an NFL record, and he's got 451. And it's just wherever he wants to go with a football, and then just make it look easy.
Pretty simple design. It's just Wes Welker in the backfield. He runs an option route. Brandon Boykin, second-year player, is locked up in coverage. It's no contest. Wes Welker knew that Boykin was going to be matched up on him. We talked to him on Friday, and he says, yeah, I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. And so's the guy catching him.
I don't think Wes Welker cares who's covering him. Regardless of the Eagles or any team that he faces. I mean, he's tremendously confident in his skills. He's got great quickness out of the breaks. But that was easy. I mean, when you go out there and practice and you're running routes to start the day's work without any defenders, I mean, that was as easy as that is. I mean, there's nobody there contesting the route, and just another outstanding drive by the Broncos offensively to come away with 7 points.
Career touchdown pass number 449 went to Welker. 450, 451 to Demaryius Thomas. 452 back to Welker. And it's a 42-13 game with 22 seconds left in the third quarter.
Yeah, to follow up on that, in visiting with Wes Welker, and he said, hey, you're probably going to draw Brandon Boykin in coverage. What do you think? He says, I think he's a pretty good young player, and you just kind of knew that he was looking forward to that matchup because of his experience, and nobody matches up well against Welker is the point. And when you focus on him, then you open up some other things to other people. It's just a tall order, as we've said many times.
Broncos with 18 first downs in the third quarter. Peyton Manning has thrown 4 touchdown passes, only 6 incompletions all day. The Eagles drive yet again will start at the 20. Prater takes any chance for the most part of a kick return out of the equation with his strong leg here at home. For a complete recap of week 4 in the NFL, as well as the battle for baseball's final playoff spots, the firing of Lane Kiffin, they've got it all. Make sure to check out Jay and Dan, Fox Sports Live tonight and every night at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on Fox Sports 1. Vick, nowhere to go, and a sack for this Denver defense. Robert Ayers was there, but he wasn't the only one. A loss of 4, and this third quarter will come to an end with that.
Pretty telling what Jack Del Rio thinks of Philadelphia's skill players, because they're locked up man-to-man all across the board. Even with this lead, they're not playing coverage, and yet nowhere to go with the football.
It's been all Broncos. It was an 8-point game at the half, anything but now. America's Game of the Week back after this from your local Fox station. After the sack ended the third quarter, it's second down for Michael Vick, flushed out to his left. Pass caught by Selleck. He dropped one early inside the red zone. This one good from Michael Vick out across the 40, and a completion of 27 yards.
Yeah, and again, to go back to the point before we went to commercial at the end of the third quarter, the Broncos continue, even on that play there, they continue to play man-to-man, not giving anybody any help, and the Eagles just really, for the most part, haven't been able to take advantage of it. They were on that play, but Deshaun Jackson is a guy who can beat you, but so far they've proven not to have anyone else.
Vick was not touched. Plays alive. Pass too high for a But a little baseball playoff update. The Indians, Rays, and Rangers all won today. The Indians, and what a great first year for Terry Francona as manager, clinched the first wild card spot. The Rays will play at the Rangers in Arlington tomorrow to determine the second wild card spot. Then those two teams would play one game to determine who moves on.
They may have to make that game.
2nd and 10. Vick avoids a sack, and now a drop from Deshaun Jackson, who had not dropped one this season.
Yeah, you see, and then with the, for a quarterback, what you do want, you want one-on-one coverage. It's what you hope for, and the Eagles have gotten that throughout this game, and to not be able to exploit that has got to be awfully frustrating for Michael Vick.
4 drop passes today for Philadelphia. On 3rd down and 10, and add another. Don't know if the play had much potential anyway. LaShawn McCoy could not corral that throw from Vick, who was 1 for 7 this half. That'll be a quiet charter from Denver to Philadelphia after this one. Donnie Jones will punt it. That's blocked. More special teams problems. Picked up by Steven Johnson, who blocked it, and he's got the touchdown. 53 did it all.
Here in the middle, Steven Johnson, he just gets right through the middle untouched. They just completely turn him loose. He's got a straight shot right to the punter. They got a lot of work on before they go into New York next week to take on the winless Giants. That's not very good. They give up a touchdown return there in the first half, and then they get a punt block.
Big day for Jeff Rogers, special teams coordinator for John Fox and the Broncos. Not a good day for Dave Phipps' crew. A special teams touchdown, and Trendon Holiday just could stand and watch.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by Subway, train hard, eat fresh.
We've been saving that shot in a 36-point game. That was from before the game today.
We saw him diving in. Yeah, we saw him diving in to start this game. I was worried we were going to get hooked up on the cable cam wires.
17-yard block punt return for a touchdown. Last one to do it for the Broncos, Ian Gold. And a backup linebacker, the guy to do it, Steven Johnson, a college free agent picked up from KU last year. And we'll go down to the field and Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, what happens to defenses in the second half against the Broncos offense? Well, wideout Eric Decker thinks he knows. He told me they get demoralized because they can't figure out a solution against Peyton Manning. They get tired. He could see a change in a DB's stance. In some cases, he sees guys just plain giving up, although he didn't name any defenses in particular. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thanks. McCoy over the left side gets 2. Robert Ayers is the guy there to force him out of bounds. The Eagles, by the way, haven't had a punt blocked for a touchdown in 266 games back in 1996 against Buffalo. They do here today, and it's Steven Johnson who did the work. 2nd and 8. Selleck. Raheem Moore, Troy, had to go through a long offseason after being the one victimized on that Jacoby Jones touchdown with 31 seconds left. as Mitch Unrein is injured at the end of that play. And the Broncos, to a man, John Fox, Jack Del Rio, so proud of the way Raheem Moore went through the offseason, came to camp, put it behind him, and he's off to a good start.
Well, he is, and I think he's a good young player, you know, and it kind of tells you what he's made of, because a lesser individual, you know, wouldn't have been able to handle it as well as he has. Fans were tough on him when he first came back for preseason, but you know, he's accepted the responsibility, and it's just an unfortunate occurrence that happened in a young guy's career. But he's a good player. He's got great range. I think he's got a really bright future. But when you lose an opportunity like that, to go back to what I said earlier in this game, offensively you were great, defensively you were great. You got all the makings of winning it all, and then to have a play like that, but yet that just tied the game. I mean, that wasn't the game winner.
Pass is caught. A flag is thrown. Avant makes the tough catch. He had Tony Carter all over him. Looks like the play will stand as Pete Morelli gives us the call.
Number 32 defense. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
So the catch happened, an 8-yard completion to Avant. And a first down for the Eagles, down by 36.
We saw a lot of offense by the Philadelphia Eagles during that first half. They've not done anything here in the second half. Real credit to the adjustments that were made at halftime.
Here's McCoy, just short of first down yardage. Ayers made the stop.
I think that Jack Del Rio, as I said, last year he put together a heck of a defensive unit, and this group, when they get Von Miller back, Champ Bailey comes back, you know, they're going to be one of the better defenses in this league once again. You mentioned his candidacy possibly for USC. I think it'd be a great hire.
Pass is caught. That's the rookie Ertz. He was left alone in the secondary for the Broncos, and Zach Ertz brought down by Iheanacho after a completion of 38.
Well, Zach Ertz has afforded zone coverage, so for one of the few times in this game, the Eagles did not have to beat man-to-man coverage against them, and Ertz is able to then get into the zone, and Vic finds him.
That's a season-long catch for Zach Ertz. 38 yards. Here's Jackson. And Deshaun overthrown. Raheem Moore in coverage. And we'll see when Deshaun Jackson comes out of that tunnel if he's got a limp. He lost his left shoe. So he threw a shoe going to the corner of the end zone, and he'll go to the sideline. It was stepped on by Raheem Moore. So Damaris Johnson takes over. He's out there in the formation with Jeff Mail, a young first-year receiver. Here's Bryce Brown. Nothing out there. Forced out by Iheanacho. How about this guy for a college free agent playing on a bad ankle? He's made some plays for the Broncos.
Yeah, he has, and he has throughout the early going of this season. I think he's a good football player as well, and he comes up and reads it beautifully and makes a pretty good play. Now, that's one thing about this secondary for the Broncos. They've got a lot of depth. In fact, Quentin Jammer, who they picked up from the Chargers in the offseason, today was the first time he was even active.
Vic dancing around. He's swallowed up. Derek Wolfe. He wasn't alone, and that's the third sack for this Denver defense.
You see the coverage, and they give you a lot of different looks within their scheme sometimes. Today they've not. I mean, they will double guys on the outside at various times. They just haven't had to do any of that really in this game because they haven't been able to beat the coverages, and then Vic's back there as a sitting duck.
46-yard try by Henry, who blocks it right. And it remains a 36-point game. Missing from 46, Alex Henry. Broncos take over. Peyton Manning's day is over. 28 of 34, 327 yards, 4 touchdowns. Still no interceptions. to go with his 16 for the season. 82% completion rate, quarterback rating of 146.
180! Wait, hot!
4-touchdown day, and Brock Osweiler takes over as Ronnie Hillman tries the left side, and he just cuts right through this Philly defense for 10 and a first down. Osweiler in his 6th game now in his young NFL career. He's big, 6'8", 240, from Montana, played collegiately at Arizona State.
Yeah, just 4 passing attempts last year as a rookie. You're not going to get a lot of work, obviously, when Peyton Manning is in front of you, but John Elway's son, Jack Elway, attended Arizona State as a quarterback, and so John had a chance to watch and get familiar with Brock Osweiler while he was in college there playing for the Sun Devils, and I know that John was really high on him when they drafted him in the 2nd round last year.
Hand off to Hillman again. This time the Eagles defense makes a play. Denver's run 58 plays. They have 31 first downs in this game as they just took this thing over in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 10. John Elway, who is in his 3rd season as executive VP of football operations, and you didn't have to be a Bronco fan as somebody my age growing up watching games in the NFL to just enjoy watching him do his thing, and a 2-time Super Bowl champ in 97, 98.
Well, I played during those years, when John was going strong. He's been great to watch as a general manager as well.
Osweiler completes the pass. That's Decker on the receiving end. A gain of 5.
You think about how he's put this team together, and when he took over 3 years ago, and you've got Tim Tebow as your quarterback, and John was scrutinized heavily during that year when he wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid and talking about, hey, we need more out of the quarterback than just running the football. We've got to be able to throw the ball more effectively. He knows what it takes to win a championship. Clearly, he's been a part of those championship teams here in Denver, and then to be able to go out and convince Peyton Manning to come here and be a part of this team. It was a great job on his part, and it wasn't a laydown that Peyton was going to come here.
Osweiler gets out of trouble and floats it out of the reach of Decker, and there's going to be a flag on Fletcher, who dragged Eric Decker to the ground.
Well, Decker's got him beat, and then as he turns up the field, that was good.
Pass interference, number 24 defense, automatic. First down.
It's a good idea by Osweiler, just trying to lead him up the field. Decker trying to make an adjustment to the football, and then Fletcher gets called with the hold.
We saw John Elway in his 3rd year. There are those who know him, were friends of his, that'll tell you he is completely invested in this process. You think, oh, John Elway, all the success, what does he need to do? What does he need to prove? He's in the office every day, late hours, trying to make this team better, and his imprint on this team as Monte Ball carries it for the first time is obvious, and the success, they have built it to a crescendo here right now. Let's go to Kurt with a game break.
Well, since the Eagles aren't winning, we figured their fans might like to see the Cowboys being in the same boat. Phillip Rivers, 56 yards to Antonio Gate, 20 unanswered points by the Chargers, and they built up a lead 30-21 with just 5 minutes left to go in the game. Joe Troy and Bam.
Yeah, and San Diego's just shredding that Dallas defense today.
Well, they got the former offensive coordinator from Denver over there leading the way, and Phillip Rivers having a heck of a start this year.
Here's Paul right side. The rookie's trying to hang on to the football. Lost a yard and a half.
He's probably, talking about Phillip Rivers, he's probably been one of the bigger surprises to me. Mike McCoy goes in there as the offensive coordinator, a new offense. Phillip Rivers has been running the same system since he was a rookie in San Diego, and yet he has not, in fact, I was going to say he hadn't missed a beat. Shoot, he's playing better than he has in years. He threw an interception for a touchdown in this game against Dallas earlier, but he has rebounded and is having a nice game.
Derek!
3rd down and 11 for Osweiler. Only the 2nd 3rd down attempt for the Broncos this half. Osweiler slides out of trouble off the hands of Welker. No Manning with the big weapons on the outside still playing, and it's 4th down.
You mentioned Osweiler's height at 6'8", and people criticize or they question Drew Brees and Russell Wilson, and you got to have height, but yet you don't see many guys that tall either playing the position. The last guy that I can think of was Dan McGuire for the Seahawks years ago. Mark McGuire, of course, the Hall of Fame baseball player, or maybe soon to be Hall of Fame baseball player at some point. But Dan McGuire was that same height, but you don't see him that tall like you do Osweiler.
This to break a regular season franchise record for the Broncos for points in a game, to make it a 52-point day for the Broncos. 53-yard field goal by Matt Prater. And maybe even a higher ranking in the upcoming BCS rankings for the Broncos, who are ripping right through the Eagles as they add 3 more.
Sponsored by Lexus, introducing a car design with one purpose: to stand apart. The all-new 2014 Lexus IS.
Sun shining all day long here in Denver, Colorado at the end of September. Warm day, 52-13 is the score for the Broncos. 52 points, the most in franchise history. Prater just hit from 53. He's at over 76% in his young career from 50 or more. And yes, he benefits from kicking in the higher altitude, but man, he is accurate and could end up being one of the game's best kickers ever if he stays healthy. Frank Tripucka was the original Denver Broncos quarterback. He had his number 18 retired by the Broncos after his playing career. Before the Broncos signed Peyton Manning, Tripucka stated he would allow the Broncos to unretire his number for Manning to wear. Tripucka passed away on September 12th at the age of 85. While we've seen Osweiler take over for Manning, we see Nick Foles take over for Michael Vick as Polk tries the right side, gains 1. And I'm intrigued about, as you look at Vick, Foles, kind of a longer athlete, long legs. You wonder how he fits in, although Chip Kelly told us he does everything Michael Vick can do.
Yeah, now they're not going to run the read option with Nick Foles.
Pass caught by Polk.
But having said that, Joe, watching this scheme, we really haven't seen the read option here in this game. We haven't seen Michael Vick keep the ball and run or do any of those types of things. So even though that's certainly an element of this offense, depending on who's playing quarterback, then you accentuate other parts of it. And so there's no doubt in my mind that this offense, can and will be successful. And you don't necessarily have to have a running quarterback to do that.
Handoff for a first down to Polk. Bad tackle, and Polk's still going. He is forced out of bounds, and a touchdown saving play made by Steven Johnson.
Well, Polk's getting his opportunity. We saw what he did on his first carry of the season. He scores the touchdown, and you can't tell him that this game's not important right now. He's going to try to show these coaches how important the game is to him and make the most of the opportunity.
Pass is out of the reach of Bryce Brown. 2nd and 10.
You just kind of felt when they came out, even though Denver didn't get any points there to end the first half, when they got the opening kickoff of the second half and went right down the field, you kind of, oh boy. And then when the Eagles didn't match that with any kind of points, you could feel everything kind of starting to shift in the favor of the Broncos.
Here's Brown left side on 2nd down. He gets 2. Irving on the stop. About some more early game leaders and headliners. Andrew Luck with his day, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Marshawn Lynch had a touchdown. Fred Jackson for the Bills with a score and a big upset win over the Ravens.
That was a huge win by Seattle. Great day by Marshawn Lynch, but to come back and win at Houston, it's a big win for them.
Here's a pass caught. That is Mail, and he is dragging Tony Carter down near the 5. And it's a nice debut of sorts for Jeff Mail, his first catch of the season, good for 38.
Well, he beat man coverage, and Nick Foles lays it out there beautifully. One of the few big plays that they've been able to make.
He played for Chip Kelly at Oregon. Here he is on the far side for the touchdown. And the first-year player, Jeff Mail, has the touchdown for the Eagles.
And Michael Vick's wondering how that happened so easily, considering what he's been under throughout this game. But Nick Foles comes in and they make a few plays, and they're still running the same coverages defensively. But with Jeff Mayle, he's able to take advantage of it, and a good job there by he and Nick Foles on that drive.
Alex Henry makes it 52-20. Mayle made 2 plays back to back. He set it up, and then he took it in. 52-20 Denver. On September 27th, Loveland Ski Area was the first ski area in North America to start making snow for the 2013-2014 season. Crew started making at 5 p.m. Friday evening. They are the closest ski area to the city of Denver. And at 4:35, the Broncos' next drive will start at the 20. Animation Domination tonight, premiering right here on Fox. 2 epic hours will give all your senses a workout. It all starts with Kristen Wiig, guest starring The Simpsons tonight on Fox. Look at the most points through 4 games. Denver is gaining on Dallas, the 179. Told you this is a franchise record for the Broncos in a game. The 52 they put up. Most points the Eagles have allowed in over 40 years. November 26th of 1972, when the Giants put up 62 points. John Elway has to be thrilled as he watched his rookie Monte Ball carry it for 6. Another week, another win, and a 4-0 start.
Well, Peyton came into this week talking about a short week and having played on Monday night and having to turn around against an unfamiliar opponent, and it's a good thing they didn't have a full week to prepare. But he has been really good this year as far as, really keeping his teammates focused on the task at hand, knowing ultimately what this team's being judged on.
Hand off the ball, running right. Gets a yard. As you look at the Broncos schedule coming up, Osweiler in the game in place of Peyton Manning. They're at Dallas, at home against Jacksonville, at Indy. That'll be a test. At home against Washington, then the bye week. Then they've got a game in San Diego, and then 2 games with Kansas City here, and then there with a game against New England in between. So that's the rough patch in the schedule. Peyton Manning also told us that he's changed and evolved over the years, in that even after last week's Monday night win over Oakland, instead of going home and breaking down film, he said, I went and had dinner with my wife, checked on the kids, and then watched Boardwalk Empire. I mean, he's an evolved human being as well, and maybe not so crazy into all this, and it's paid off.
Well, they talk about his preparation, and he's well aware of what people say about it, but he said, look, from 5:30 to 8:30, I'm a family guy, I'm with my kids, but I have a feeling once he puts them down at 8:30, he's up a while watching more film.
Osweiler is going to stay on his feet. Forced out of bounds, wrestled out of bounds by Najee Good.
And how about Wes Welker, as we showed him and talking with him on Friday? I mean, he's not getting any younger, but he doesn't look like he's aging much when you watch him run these routes. But when we got done with him, he was on his way that afternoon, not just to get 1 massage. He was going to have 2 massages that afternoon, and he says it's a 24/7 deal in terms of getting his body prepared each week to come out and play. I mean, it is taxing on that position. And as he's gotten older, but yet he does a great job keeping his body in great condition.
Yeah, especially a little guy, 5'9", 185. As Monte Ball on a first down carry gets 6. That stretch for Welker in New England over a 3-year stretch had 110+ receptions in a year. For 3 years led the NFL in receptions, a 5-time Pro Bowler, and he goes from Tom Brady to Peyton Manning here with the Denver Broncos. It's about as good as it can get in today's NFL. It is as good as it can get, period. 2nd and 4.
Super. 180. Wait, hot.
still in the game. And Demarius has got another Denver first down. Carmichael on the tackle. How about Philadelphia? What do they have coming up? They're at the winless Giants, at the winless Bucks, at home against Dallas, at home against the Giants, at Oakland. And in a division again that looks to be absolutely wide open and watered down. It ain't over.
Well, it's not over, and it looks like the Cowboys are going to lose in San Diego. So even the winless Giants, just 2 games back, and yet they lost to the Cowboys week 1, but everybody still has to play each other. And I mean, it's pretty crazy, but yeah, that division's up for grabs for anyone.
2-minute warning in Denver. Dealing with altitude. Eagles dealing with a lot of Denver Broncos success. 2 minutes left.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Windows Phone. Meet the new Windows Phone, the smartphone reinvented around you.
Certainly didn't get a chance to do it last week with Green Bay at Cincinnati. Tight game down the stretch. Give you some of the names that are responsible for today's telecast and their email addresses in case you have any issues with coverage in today's game. Dante Ball gets to. The producer of today's game is Richie Zients. The director is Rich Russo. The associate director is Jake Jolivet and Rich Gross. The broadcast associates are Bentley Elliott, Alex Olson. Technical producer is Pete Chalbris. Technical director is Colby Bourgeois. Audio mixer is Fred Aldis. Uncle Fred. The studio show is produced by Bill Richards. And directed by Stephanie Benito. They're down to 4. Here's the ball again. And that first down will allow the Broncos to take a knee. The rest of the way, that's the 35th first down for the Broncos in this game. That's a club record, and these guys up front have a big reason why they set that record here today.
Well, they're exceptional, and to be able to pick up the first down there on 3rd and 4 running the football, and as they should. That group up front has been solid throughout this game. The 1 sack, other than that, I don't recall Peyton even going to the ground. And then to be able to lead the way in the running game, just an outstanding job by that group.
You know who else has a long flight back to Philadelphia? Ed Sveda, statistician in the booth. Dave Schwalbe, our spotter. Steve Horn, as always, editorial consultant. And that group was present and accounted for this 32-point win. And this machine rolls on and seems to get better by the week. The Denver Broncos are undefeated. They're 4-0. The Philadelphia Eagles are 1-3, but could be just a game out of first in the crazy NFC East. Let's go to Kenny Moose and Goose in San Diego.